I'm Ange.
I'm Sid.
And we're Faking Sanity.
Oh, yeah, every day.
And this is the Faking Sanity Knitting and Spinning Podcast. You'll hear us cracking up probably a few times because that's just who we are.
Yes. Because we're weird and proud of it. Hence, we named our brick and mortar bookstore, yarn store, cafe, everything store, Faking Sanity.
Yeah. People either love that or don't get it. They're like,
or they call us Faking Insanity, and we're like, no, we're not faking that.
that part's real.
Yeah.
So that's us. We have a brick and mortar store in Dawson Creek, BC.
Canada.
Just
in case,
It's the beginning of the Alaska Highway, so we're sandwiched between two parts of the U.S. And we're sort of.
I mean, it's a big filling. Canada is huge. But anyway.
And we run, it's a bookstore, coffee shop, tea shop, cafe, yarn shop.
Yeah, just a little bit of yarn.
But we're starting to expand a little bit more in the yarn, so that's kind of fun. And the podcast is so much fun. We look forward to it every week.
Yes.
So that's us. So let's talk
start with knitting.
Yeah.
So whips, she doesn't have any.
I don't.
But that's because she finished it.
Something huge.
I did not. So my first whip is this. It looks very, very boring. It is a massive tube of ribbing. Okay, it's thigh-high leg warmers that I am knitting for a customer. And they're... Oh, sorry. It's Cascade.
She's attacking me.
It's Cascade Echo Plus, which is a great yarn.
Yeah,
just
I
really
love the
rustic
Echo.
and great. And so I just started increasing for the knee here. And it'll spread out lots.
Yeah.
It's got tons of... I don't have a pattern for it because I'm just making it up as I go along. But
she wanted just plain.
She wanted really plain
warm leg warmers.
Yeah,
so.
well, and that says a lot about our winters, is that you need thigh-high leg warmers, and she couldn't find any to buy. So, but I've been knitting and knitting and knitting ribbing, and I was like, oh my god, I just need something fun. So I started something yesterday.
I love this one.
With my rainbow yarn.
I love, Biscotte does rainbow so well.
So the yarn is Biscotte AC.
Biscotte et compagnie.
Actually, they come up as Biscotte yarns online
In English,
now. They're Griffin base, which is this lovely squishy,
it's so plump.
Aran weight. And this is the rainbow colorway. Actually, it's
Arc-en-ciel.
Thanks. I'm not going to try to butcher the French.
It's just rainbow.
It's rainbow. but yeah.
Literally, it's like arc in the sky. Is
that makes sense. They're a company out of Quebec, out of Montreal.
Yeah.
And we love them, and this is lovely. I've already knit one of these. Again, no pattern. I started with 2x2 rib, doing stockinette. I'm making a slouchy hat, and then I like the decreases from the Turn a Square pattern by Jared Flood, which it's just kind of my standard hat pattern.
Yeah, you've done that a lot.
I love this yarn.
It's so
and
squishy.
it's rainbow, and it's just so happy.
Can you see this?
And it's like,
Like, it just squishes so much, even in a cake.
And it's so vibrant.
Yeah.
And I just love the colors.
Yeah. And the color in their sock yarn.
She made my cake. It was all pretty for once.
Sorry.
Usually I like mess up my cakes immediately. But I'm working from the outside because I wanted it to go from red to purple rather than purple to red.
I was going to say, and in the sock yarn, the rainbow is just as vibrant, but the repeat's a little longer.
Yeah.
So they have wider.
I have some of that as well.
Yeah. It looks gorgeous.
I was going to do fingerless mitts out of, but now I'm thinking I might rip back and do socks. I don't know. Socks! Rainbow socks. Basically, I just want rainbow everything.
Yeah.
So, that's my whips.
That's your whips.
That's all I have.
You
do have a whip. It's just not knitting.
That's true. So I have a spinning whip. So this I showed off as Fibre last week. This is my green Corriedale and Nylon, and I don't have a dyer or where the yarn is from. I won it as a prize. It was 3 sort of 30-gram braids of Corriedale Nylon, and Corriedale Rayon, which I suspect is bamboo rayon. And so I'm doing a little bit of a comparative study, and I love the Corriedale Nylon.
Cool.
It spun so easily, and it was much less harsh on my hands.
And it's really, you got it really thin.
So It is, for those of you who are spinners, it's 45 to 50 wraps per inch. It's like
That's like
thread thin almost,
Yeah.
which means I will get a 3-ply sock yarn easily. It might be light fingering in some spots and fingering in the rest, but I've never managed a 3-ply sock yarn before.
cool. And you're gonna chain ply it?
Yeah, I'm going to chain ply it today or tomorrow. So it'll be because I realized I got extra bobbins so that I could do 3-plies, but my Kate only fits 2 bobbins. So at some point there will be a purchase of a Kate that fits 3.
Do your new bobbins fit on your old Kate?
Yes.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you could do that too.
Oh no, on the Spinolution Kate?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No. That one's not standard. Most Kates are this size, but so if I bought a new one, these would fit onto it. But so that's my spinning, and I love the color shifts, and it was just such a pleasure to spin that I think I might do some socks. Like I really like the Corriedale nylon.
What are you gonna make out of this? Are you just gonna knit?
I might just make it as a sock yarn and stripe it with something else. 'Cause
Oh,
this
that would
one,
look lovely.
The other two were like
Stripe it
30
with
grams,
black. I like
this
everything
one was
striped with black.
this one was almost 50.
Basically, as long as it's a bright color, striped
Yeah.
with black looks amazing.
Yeah,
Anyway,
so
sorry.
this might be, I might actually use it for socks, even though it's
Yeah.
not enough. And that's compared to the one that was on the bobbin last week, which was the straight up Corriedale. And I love the colors.
that's
Like
a
it's
great
just
color.
fabulous. And this is 2-plied. And it's just straight up Corriedale. And it's actually a lot softer than I thought it would be. Spinning it up, it felt a little harsh. Like it's not soft,
not merino, but it's
not
lovely.
It's not really scratchy either. And that's not even washed
The neck
yet.
test. The neck test.
Oh, it'll be too rough for you now.
no,
but-
actually.
and it's not even washed yet. It'll soften up a lot.
Because my neck's really sensitive, but it's because it's not soft, but it's not scratchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm having fun trying this breed that everybody else starts with.
And you haven't.
And I've been spinning since 2007. It's now 2018, and I've spun my
goodness.
first Corriedale last summer. And this is
So
my
why does
second.
everybody start with it?
It's one of the, like, Corriedale Falkland, they're just kind of medium wools. They're not too short stapled,
okay.
not too long stapled. They're not super expensive, so they're good starter ones.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
But
you started with
I started,
fancy ones because
it's
they were
what
pretty.
they had. Well, and it's what they had at the yarn shop we shopped at.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm loving the Corriedale. And the next
Pretty sure
one,
they had Corriedale there too.
I don't know that they did. Maybe just not in colors I liked.
Yes, they were a lot
And
of
I was
natural colors
very
and stuff.
drawn to.
Colors.
And this is going to be the next one in the comparative study. This one is Corriedale with Rayon, and so you can kind of see parts that are a little bit whiter. And I suspect it's Rayon from bamboo because it looks a lot like how bamboo takes or doesn't take dyes
dye,
when
yeah.
it's dyed with acid dyes. And it's so much softer and drapier than the Corriedale was. Like you can kind of see it's got a lot less body even though it's braided, which is another reason I think it's probably Rayon from bamboo. But this will be fun to spin. I can't wait to see how the colors play out.
Yeah.
So that'll be my next one. And this one I'll probably spin a little thicker just to see. Yeah.
that all you're spinning?
That's all my spinning.
Okay. So, well, except that your FO was spinning too.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Show your FO.
Okay.
Show it. Yep, yep.
Okay.
It's so pretty.
So
She's been casting this off for like 12 hours.
no. Last night
We got home at
3 or 4 hours because there
we got
were a
home at
few
7.
but there were a few distractions. Like I
Oh,
stopped
okay.
to eat, and so 3 or
No, we had dinner first.
oh yeah, so maybe 4 or 5 hours last night,
5 hours last night, and then
and 3
Yeah.
this morning, and then a nap, and then another hour, I think. So
Okay, I wasn't too off by 12 hours. 9 hours casting this beast off.
So this shawl has been in this JoJo's bag that I love because it even matched the colors really nicely. Like
Okay.
It's just, yeah. That was totally accidental. It happened to be the bag that was big enough to
I
hold
don't
3
tend to think
skeins.
that because I have a rainbow bag and
Yeah.
the rainbow one's not in it.
So it's my returning shawl. So this is
here,
all hand spun. And the reason, okay, don't mind the ends. This is not finished, as in ends woven in.
She literally
I said
cast
we
it
can
off and then, okay, we can go podcast now.
I did. I went into her room and I'm like, okay, now we can go. So you can see it's got kind of feather and fan lace in the border. And it goes, 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 and it goes. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I changed the order of the colors in the border a little bit because this second blue strand, the thin one here, was supposed to be the light gray. And I didn't read the instructions properly and did the blue again. So I just did the next one blue and then reversed the brown, blue, as opposed to blue, brown, which is what it should have been. So pretty much the same, like just two that were switched up.
It looks good.
And the gauge is really loose. Like I knit this on a size 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter needle, and it was light fingering to fingering. So you can see through it. You can see a little bit of my face through there. And so it'll block out really nicely.
I can't wait to see it blocked.
So, and the row before you bind off, you double the stitches. And the last time I'd counted was at the end of this blue section, the one before the bind off, and it was over 500 stitches then.
So then you were over 1,000.
It was well over 1,000 for the bind off. And I'm slow at this particular bind off, so it was...
It's going to give you a really great little...
Yeah, it's going to be a really nice edge. Like if I look at kind of the cat's paw lace, it kind of stretches out into... Can you hold that up the way you were? So it kind of stretches out into this wavy pattern. So you can see it kind of goes up and down, and then it'll be a rounded edge. And the bottom, because of the yarn overs, every other stitch before the bind off is a yarn over. So it just gives this nice, really loose edge. So it's going to be lovely. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to wear it, even though it's got ends dangling everywhere. Because
you're going to have to bring it next week to show, or whenever you block it.
Get rid of all of these.
But you got to show what it looks like after it's blocked.
Yes, yeah, the lace.
A lot of things it doesn't matter that much, but
cat
that's
yak.
Gonna
lace looks
cat
like cat yak
until it's blocked. Yeah, very much so.
So that's my shawl, and I love it, and I'm so pleased with how it turned out.
Speaking of blocking, I'm very proud of myself this week. I hate blocking, just in case you didn't know that about me. I blocked 5 things. 5. I blocked 4 hats. I only brought one because you've seen them all before. But one of them was one of my whip lucky dips last week, and it's just this pretty stripy.
So soft. It's the Malabrigo Rios, right?
Yeah, it is, and it's in the Ivy and Purpurus, and it's just again made up pattern with the turn a square.
Yeah, I think with hats, once you've done a certain number of them, you just wing it. You don't...
Yeah,
like, it's fun to look up a pattern and do something different.
I have lots of hat patterns that I do like, but I've just been in the mood to do really simple hats lately. I actually did this one ages ago and had never blocked it, so that's why it was in the Whip Lucky Dip. Yeah, so I blocked it and wove in all the ends and everything. So it's a great one. Oh, and it's so soft.
Yeah.
I love the Malabrigo Rios.
Rios is fabulous.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, all the Malabrigo yarns I've used. Mm-hmm. Actually, that's not true. I used to use the Malabrigo worsted, the single ply, and I like it, but not nearly as much as their 2-ply yarns.
Yeah, I love the Rios.
Yeah. Mainly because my hands are really rough, and I rip it to shreds.
Exhibit A.
This was my other Whip Lucky Dip that I pulled out 4 weeks ago and then hadn't got done last time. If you can see, it is so fuzzy because my hands are so bad. I put lotion on all the time, and yet...
And when she says bad, like, she does this,
and
her hand, you can hear it like sticking to the...
It's terrible. I do really put lotion on, and I try to drink water and all that, but
it's a dry climate,
we're in a very dry
prone
climate.
to dry skin. So.
But anyway, this last week, or whenever I pulled it out, I was terrible. I said it was a Gaptastic cowl. It's not. It's the Honey Cowl by Antonia Shankland. In Malabrigo Rios, in the Vulcan colorway. Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Usually Vulcan has more red in it.
Nope.
It's really pretty.
Yeah, no, the Vulcan always looks like this. You sure you're not thinking of Jupiter that you were looking at?
No.
Anyway, I make a lot of things out of Rios because we have it here, so it's
easily accessible.
Yeah.
When there's no yarn shop
we were
nearby.
looking through our stashes today for something, and we were both like, "Oh my god, I have too much yarn." I have to knit this yarn.
Luckily, I've been in the mood to knit all the things. Like, my knitting mojo last year was crap. And this year, I'm really in the mood to, like, this is a big shawl for me.
That's a lot of knitting.
Like, it doesn't show because it's not stretched out a lot. But this was filling my 60-inch needle.
Yeah. So I know that the honey cowl is actually supposed to be a bit longer, so it kind of droops. That's not terribly useful in Dawson Creek. Yeah. You don't
want a space for wind to creep in.
I mean, a lot of people do like decorative cowls, but most people just want to be warm. So yeah, this is lovely. And so yeah, and I'm gonna pull out my little D-pillar thingy and make it a little prettier because
it's a little fuzzy.
Well, and it's not just my hands. It's also been like sitting in a bag of yarn and wool and for ages.
It's really nice though. Yeah. That'll be very useful.
So those were my Whip Lucky Dupes from the last 2 podcasts. So
we should draw a new one.
We've got to put a new one.
We didn't say welcome or welcome back. So if you're new here, welcome.
This is my big bag.
And she has a big bag of whips that are almost done.
That I did many years ago, sometimes this year, but mainly many years ago, that are like, basically most of them are done except for weaving in ends and blocking, because I love the knitting. Yeah. I don't much care about getting a thing out of it, usually. I'm getting better about that.
But we're both very much process knitters, not end results.
Yes. Yeah. So I bring my big bag of stuff, and she pulls out one.
And then I draw some out. And I usually draw from the bottom, so let's draw somewhere near the top here. Oh, it's not even a white bag.
It's not. It's not like you're looking in. Okay. What do we have here?
I remember this one.
Oh, okay. So this, which way is forward? This.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. This weird shaped shawl is the Follow Your Arrow by Ysolda Teague. Now, it was a
mystery knit-along.
Where each clue had different options for shapes, for different laces.
Some were 2 colors, some were 1.
Yeah, some people got circular ones out of it. Some people got this strange triangle shape. Some people got full triangles, I think. I don't even remember.
It was asymmetrical triangle.
It was so cool.
It was. It was the first mystery knit-along I'd ever done, and I was so terrified of wasting my money on something I wouldn't like, because I'm cheap, and I loved it. And to the point where I kept the pattern to knit another version with different clues. Yeah,
so there were 5 clues. On each clue there was at least 2 choices. I think there was a couple with 3 choices.
Well, 2 choices in the stitches, but there was a 3rd choice of if you wanted to do it 2-colored.
2-colored,
you could change the colors at this point.
And the yarn is this lovely purple Koigu, KPPPM.
Yeah.
Which is such a nice...
super high twist. If you like high twist yarns, the Koigu is fabulous. At least this one.
The thing about this is that I'm never going to wear this. It's not a useful shape to me, much as I loved it. I love knitting it. I love the whole concept.
It's not a shape you would wear.
It's not me at all. So you know what I'm going to do with this? I'm going to frog it. I'm going to frog the entire thing.
Oh, that's a lot of work.
That's fine. I enjoyed the knitting of it, and I'm going to enjoy the knitting of it again. I'm going to frog it. I'm going to...
You had already talked about another project for this yarn, right?
But, okay, what's it called when you wash the yarn and hang it?
Recondition it.
Recondition the yarn. And then I am going to make...
It's a good idea to have the iPad here for when we have stuff like this that we want to...
And I had it up because I was looking at it. The Shalimar by Laura Aylor. So it is a stole with lace and cables.
It's gorgeous.
Because despite what I've been knitting lately, I can't even find my hat. I'm not a big fan of just knitting plain
that's
old.
Probably why you had that up. You were looking for a more complicated knit.
This morning I was like, I'm sick of ribbing and stockinette. Every once in a while, I love to knit something really complex, something that challenges me, and this is perfect. This will keep my interest, I hope,
And you have enough yarn for that?
Well, it's really easily changed. So I think I'm going to make it narrower. Because it calls for, in this size, it calls for like 830 meters, something like that. And I've got, and I found my little leftover ball. I've got about 600. So I'm just going to make it a little, not as wide, so it's more a scarf, like a big scarf. I'm not sure where, anyway, a big scarf.
This is a scarf.
Yes. But yeah, I love this purple, and I just realized I'm not gonna ever wear this. And a lot of times, if I'm not ever gonna wear it, I'll find someone to give it to, but this isn't really anyone's style, like my friends.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna frog it. I do frog quite a bit, just cause I like the knitting.
My first knitting blog that I did on my own was called The Froggy Knitter.
Yeah.
So
but see,
we're both that
you
way.
frog because you can't stand mistakes.
Yeah.
I frog because I'm like, meh, don't like it anymore. But yeah, my thing is, okay, if I'm wearing something, I like the look of really simple knitting. I love stockinette hats, all that kind of stuff. But I want to knit lace and cables. And actually what I really should do is try double knitting, because that would really challenge me, because that's a new thing.
Or try a new technique like Portuguese knitting or something.
Oh, that doesn't really...
Doesn't interest you?
I've done it. And
Have you?
Yeah. Oh, because I did the...
Oh, the knitting in different ways with Stephanie Thornley.
it was like speed up your knitting with, Yarn Harlot. And so, yeah, I tried it. It's fine. But basically, it's really only useful if you're doing something that's a lot of purling.
Yeah.
Or like if you're doing a big shawl where the whole back row is purl back.
Yeah.
You could switch to Portuguese. But I don't find... I like purling. I don't have a problem with
I don't
purling.
mind it, but...
Yeah. It just basically, the Portuguese knitting makes purling like knitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The purling is easier.
Yeah. So that's my... Oh, and plan. Yes. So my plans is the Shalimar.
So we had been talking about plans because you were looking at the
Yeah.
Shalimar. I'm actually...
Sorry. Don't mind me. I'm grooming myself.
I'm actually
fuzz
thinking... As much as I talked about the sweater last week, which I'm still interested in doing.
Oh, she hadn't got her pattern up.
Well,
I didn't even know I had my pattern up, but...
I've been watching Skeindeer knits, and so colorwork has been on my mind a lot.
It's not a color... I mean, I like the look of colorwork.
I love doing it.
I truthfully haven't tried a whole lot of it. I want to.
I've only done, I've done a bag and a pair of mittens, but I absolutely loved it. So I'm going to do kind of generic, just basic Selbu mittens. And
This is really fascinating.
this, I'm slow at pulling up stuff on an iPad that doesn't have all my usual shortcuts. So this is Skeindeer Knits Selbu mitten. And I'm probably going to do this and just change the cuff. I want to do, I think Latvian braids here where the black ripple band is, and then a corrugated rib cuff for the bottom, and another Latvian braid at the bottom. But I think that's going to be my next carry-around project, and then I'll have...
Colorwork is a carry-around project?
Oh, it's small.
Okay.
It'll fit in my bag. And then I'm going to have, I do want to start that sweater at some point, and I've narrowed it down to 2 different yarns that I could do it in, so I'm really excited. So that's kind of my plans for the future. I'm excited about knitting all the things. I want to test on all the things.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We were going to talk about our mal because we haven't talked about it in a while.
In ages. So we have it's a mal, so a make-along. You can knit, crochet. I did cross stitch. People have done some sewing.
Some embroidery. Peggy did some
embroidery. A little of everything. Yeah. It's whatever you want to do. So what it is, it's, well, even though it's a make-along, it's called Knit the Alaska Highway. But, so we are at the start of the Alaska Highway. And if you've never heard of it, so during World War II, the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, and all of a sudden, the States and Canada were kind of worried about Japan invading the Pacific coast, which led to some terrible things like Japanese internment camps in Canada and the States. But it also led to the building of the Alaska Highway. So basically they wanted, the US Army wanted to be able to get goods and men up to Alaska in case of invasion up there. But the road system's not great. And it certainly wasn't then. There was nothing. So basically, Dawson Creek was at the end of the railway. So we are mile zero of the Alaska Highway, and they brought up over 10,000 U.S. troops with the Army Corps of Engineers to build a highway. Originally, it was 1,700 miles or 2,700 kilometers from Dawson Creek up through the other half of BC that's still north of us, through Yukon Territory and to Delta Junction in Alaska. And they did it in 7.5 months, which is amazing.
That's insanely fast.
It's amazing.
That's insanely fast now.
It's actually been dubbed engineering... okay, I wrote it down. International Historical Engineering Landmark because of how fast it was built. Another International Historical Engineering Landmark is the Eiffel Tower. So, but yeah. And they built it from March 8th to October 28th, 1942. And basically, they built it through swamps.
Yeah.
Like, they lost entire massive, like, building equipment, like the trucks and stuff, into, like, mud. Like, they just sunk. So it was originally 1,700 miles, 2,700 kilometers. As of 2012, it's now 1,387 miles or 2,232 kilometers because so much of it has been shortened. Because
was it when they were paving parts of it?
When they were paving, exactly, or like there was a 100-kilometer stretch that went over permafrost. So when the permafrost melted, the entire stretch of highway just disappeared. Things like that. So and also it was originally built to string together the Northwest Staging Route. It was basically a bunch of airfields to get Lend-Lease planes from the U.S. to the USSR.
And
during
if
World War II.
those pit stops weren't important anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So they cut off big like loops and stuff in the intervening years as it was paved and as things were fixed. And then at the end of the war, 6 months after the end of the war, it was the whole highway, the Canadian portion of the highway was handed over to Canada. Because it was built by the Americans, even the Canadian part of it, with the agreement that it would be handed over to Canada. But yeah, so nowadays, it is a huge historical thing.
We get
tourists. We got
almost
a lot
all
of tourists.
Of our tourism in the summer is Americans starting in Dawson Creek, heading up the Alaska Highway.
We get a lot of Canadians too, but it's mainly Americans. I always joke that you can tell if a map was made in Canada or the States, because if it was made in the U.S., it will have Dawson Creek on it, and if it was made in Canada, it will have Fort St. John, which is the next town over, our rival city. So
it's
anyway,
like 50 miles, 50 clicks.
Don't ask me about miles. It is 45 minutes. Sorry, that's how we do everything up here. I don't know how far things are. I know how long it takes to get places at a decent speed. Anyway, so the Alaska Highway is kind of important to us up here. So we started a MAL that is Knit the Alaska Highway, and so we started it last May. And we were going to end it on December 31st. Yeah. And we decided, a lot of us are having a lot of fun with it. It is getting our non-internet-y Knit Night ladies involved. Yeah. And it's fun. We've been having so much fun. So we have done...
And we've had new people join in since, like very, very recently because of the podcast.
Yeah. So we're hoping more of you will join us too. But we have done... 58,503.83 meters. We have a couple people who are very exact in their measurements, which is 58.5 kilometers. So, okay, so I did mention a number. It's 2,232 kilometers long. We've made 58.5.
We've got a little ways to go.
Yeah, we might not make it. But we're going to go as far as we can. We're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we're going to do draws along the way when we hit certain milestones.
Yeah.
And one of them was...
The last milestone was the Peace Bridge, which, I should have brought that picture.
Oh,
anyway, it was one of the, I was going to say it was the longest suspension bridge, but no, that was the Cascade Bridge, which we went over a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But
it's a cool looking
it's
bridge,
a cool
though.
bridge.
If you want to see a picture of it, it's in our Ravelry group.
Yes, so we're doing the knit along, make along, whatever you want to call it, in our Ravelry group, and then I periodically post what our knit night ladies have given us, the ones that, don't own computers or are scared of the internet and things like that. So we did a draw, but also if you'd like to join us, all you have to do is get into the group, and you can post a picture of your item that you're finished. I often don't because I'm lazy. And all you have to do is give me the distance of yarn you knit or crocheted or spun or in yards or meters. I can convert.
Yeah.
And and then we just add it up. And if you're just starting, you can actually add any projects that you have finished since May 22nd of last year. So
we want everybody to have an equal chance, even if you're late joining. So.
And then every time we do a draw, we include everybody. And this last time we drew 3 winners, actually. So we have a major winner and then 2 honorary mentions.
So I'm kind of excited because we just did a random generator number
random
number generator draw while we were at our knit night on Thursday night. And the first person that we drew was somebody who used to come to our knit night. She hasn't been able to make it lately, but so the winner of our main prize for this landmark, where we blew through this bridge and into the next town, is Liz, or Picnic Time. Mm-hmm. So Liz will be contacting you on Ravelry. Congratulations. And do you want to show what we're sending?
Okay. Send it. Well, she comes into the store.
We'll probably give it to her as opposed to
So, this gorgeous yarn. Ooh, it's the Ancient Arts yarn. On the... Does she actually call the base something? No, it's just her 3-ply fingering sock. But it's 80% superwash BFL and 20% nylon.
I love BFL for socks.
Yeah. And in the colorway Vancouver.
So it's a very pretty skein, and I know Liz has bought Ancient Arts before, so hopefully she really enjoys this one. So and it will come with some knitted soap. So it looks like knit stitches, and this is it is I didn't label it yet. It is goat milk soap, and it's scented with apple and cedar, and I love this one.
Yeah. So. And then she's gonna get some little stitch markers. I haven't actually put the
you got to show the backs of these too.
Okay, so on the front is little sheepy faces, and then
the backs have their little tails.
They're so cute. She already has tons of my chainmail stitch markers, so I thought I'd do something a little different.
Love the little sheepies.
I should have brought some of my chainmail stitch markers over for the next thing. Okay, I'm gonna get it. You tell.
Okay, so the next 2 draws, we thought we would draw a couple of extra numbers this time and do some smaller packs of chainmail stitch markers that Cindy makes. And so the second winner was Arlene, who is a lady from our knit night, and the third was Stacy's R Us on Ravelry. So Stacy, send us your address and your favorite colors, and Cindy will make you a custom set with some of your favorite colors in it. And so we were really excited to have one of our online podcast people win one of the prizes this time. So that's very cool.
So I've got a few different styles. I think I've showed some of them before, but they're really hard to. Yeah, okay. Anyway, little chainmail-y stitch markers. You'll get a couple different styles, and so let me know your favorite colors, and I will try to do something.
Send you some stuff. So, and she is in. I forget when now. She's in New Zealand. I forget where in New Zealand, because she had mentioned something about soccer, or no, I had football, and I had assumed like NFL or CFL just by default, and then she's like, no, I meant rugby.
And we were like, oh well, the next guess would have been soccer. So
So, and I know I'm
a lot
pretty
of things
sure
are called football.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was New Zealand and not Australia, because she was mentioning the team that they followed was the Cowboys, which is one of the New Zealand teams. So.
Sure. That was on Ravelry, and I'm terrible at Ravelry.
Yeah. I'm on Ravelry more than Cindy is.
She's on Ravelry every single day. I'm like, oh, I need to start a project. Or finish the 7 I, did since the last time I was on Ravelry. I'm terrible.
Yeah. I love Ravelry. I lose a lot of time there. But yeah, so
those
that
are prizes.
was our Mal, and those are the prizes. We'll probably have some more when we hit Fort St. John, which is the next kind of big town that we'll hit on the way through.
Right, and it is like 75 kilometers. So we've got another 13, 14, 17. I can do math. Kilometers to go. But the last ones went by really fast.
Yeah.
I thought we were just going to do a little draw there and then a bigger one at the next place. But anyway.
Yeah. So we'll do a few little draws along the way. Yeah. Some might be bigger, but
come join us in our Ravelry group if you're on Ravelry. If not, you can always put them on Instagram as well.
Yeah.
On our Instagram posts.
Tag us and we can...
Or just send me a message. I can add you in. It's all good.
Yeah. And we were going to go into Stash from there.
I have no Stash acquisitions.
I got a new skein. Nothing in the mail, but I got a new skein.
I have no Stash acquisitions.
I got...
That's sad.
This.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm probably going to get some Stash acquisitions.
We got a new batch of our Faking Sanity Fixation in. So this one is What's Eating Gilbert Grape, and I love the color. And it's... you've seen me squish this yarn before. It's super squishy. It's just like... It's so plump, and I love it. And when we got this in, I was like, a skein of this is coming home. And it sat there for a couple of days, and I was like, nope, I gotta take it.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be some socks.
Yes. And then
I'll have my What's Eating Gilbert Grape socks and my Pride and Prejudice and Zombie socks. And
yeah, when I
might even wear them one on each foot, because gray and purple go very well together.
I don't have those socks with me because I didn't knit on them at all in the last 2 weeks.
That's fine. I've been
trying
pretty
to
monogamous.
do these.
I didn't knit on my cowl at all this week.
This is a lot of ribbing, and I have a lot more to go. But anyway, so that was one of the new colors.
Yeah. Show off some of the other new stuff.
We got some. I really wanted to just call it Peggy because this is like the perfect pink for one of our knit night ladies.
Yeah. But it's in
Peony in Love
by Lisa C. So you may remember all of our colorway names are named after books. So.
This one,
I actually really like this one. It's totally not my usual colors.
Yeah, it's called The Vast Fields of Ordinary. Yeah, I think the colors are coming through pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just really nice yellow and green.
This one also surprised me. I love this one. It might just be the name. It's Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit. And yeah, I just love it. I love the name of the colorway.
I'm just so surprised you like it.
I know. I don't like orange or pink.
Yeah.
And yet together, I love this.
Yeah.
Like, love it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oranges are not the only fruit.
Okay. Then this one is Circle of Friends. And it's funny, a couple of the skeins are much more blue and a couple of skeins are much more purple. And it might just be how they're wound up.
Yeah, well, a few of them have a little bit more of this lighter blue.
Yeah.
And a few of them have more of this darker
purple-hued
blue. Or blue-hued purple.
It's just purple. It's purple. Purple. Anyway, yeah, Circle of Friends. Did I say that?
Yes. Okay. This one is Children of Earth and Sky, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
Children of Earth and Sky by Guy Gabriel K. And yeah, I love the colors. I love blue with bright other colors, like whether it's blue with brown or blue with basically anything but blue with red, which is a classic one, and I hate it.
And it's the Habs colors.
I know. I wear it only if it's Habs blue and Habs red.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I like blue with anything. This is the last one, and of course we had to call this one the color purple. Yeah. Because, good book.
It's a classic.
Excellent color. Yeah, so it's got a bit of variation in it, but not nearly as much as the others. Yeah. So
kind of a tonal royal purple. It's really nice.
We're really liking our new yarn.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We also did some other new yarny things at the store this
Yes.
week. Since the last podcast.
Yeah.
So we did up a basket of minis. So we have tons of little 10-gram minis. So there's like self-striping and variegated and speckled. There's singles. There's plied yarns. A little bit of everything. So yeah, there's a huge basket. Just one, but we have a bunch of 10-gram minis. And
then she didn't put it close enough to reach.
There was not enough space. So we did these kits. And
You open that one and I'll open this one.
Okay, so they're in these cute little muffin boxes, and they're kits of 6 coordinating 20-gram minis. And they're in our Fixation yarns. So they, the ones we have left, because we've already sold a few, have these 3 solid colors and then speckles that match them. So the speckles, I don't know if you can see close up. So the speckles are the colors of the other 2 solids. So they're really cool sets. Yeah. They are,
a base color. So these are the stripy speckles, like the socks I'm knitting, which I don't have to show you. And these are just speckled ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, and each set is a little different. So we had so much fun making those.
And they're all kind of based around that tealy blue, the gold, and the wine. Yeah. But they have different either speckles or stripy speckles as the extra skeins.
We had lots of fun. I want one, but I don't know what I'm going to make with it.
I'm actually really interested to see, I was watching the, I was going to say Grocery Girls, the Cozy Up with Stitch and Sisters podcast this week's episode, and they just showed the Katie shawl, which I love. I think I'm going to have to knit that. But they haven't released the pattern yet, so I'm waiting to see how much yarn it takes.
If the yardage is enough, because these are 20-gram minis.
But it's a very plump yarn. Like, there's a lot less yardage than most fingering weights would have.
Yeah, the yardage is only 60 meters.
Yeah, per ball. So 360 meters. Yeah. But the way they've designed the shawl, it's like... You can do it with 2 colors.
I'm not crazy, really. I'm not.
Or you can do it with like 1 main color and then 5 minis to go with it. So I'm hoping that there'd be enough yardage in this, and I would do like either the blue or the wine as the main.
Yeah, because we have full skeins of it as well.
Or a dark charcoal.
Gray and black go with everything.
And then use these through.
Okay, so maybe not everything.
I think, I want to knit all the things. Have I mentioned that?
I know.
So I kind of want to make, and I like this set the best. We've got a couple of different ones, but I think this is probably the one that I would use. So, yeah. I'm waiting. So, Jamie and Sarah, forget about your mystery cowl and just work on putting up the Katie shawl quickly so I can check if the yardage is good enough. Or plan something else. So, if you haven't watched their podcast, it's a fun one.
Yeah.
And they're putting out shawls for each of the sisters' preferences. So the Jamie shawl's out, and this Katie shawl is going to be the next one. And it sounds like they're going to be doing a JoJo one as well. So the 4 sisters and their mum.
Well, and I've done a couple of their older patterns, but if I do some color work, sorry, I am a child. If I do some color work, they have a mitt pattern that I really want to do. And I even have the yarn for it.
Or was that
the Alberta Frost?
Yeah.
Alberta Frost.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah, it's got like a snowflake. Yeah. It's fabulous. So that's the end of our knitting content.
Yeah.
Now we've just got our culture consume section. So, if that's not your thing, if you're here just for the yarn, bye.
And since we didn't do a welcome at the beginning and I feel like a horrible host, thanks for joining us if you're leaving us now. But if not, we'll talk about our...
if you're leaving us now, No, it's really okay.
Yeah, now we're just going to babble about the books we've read and TVs we've watched.
Sorry, I can speak.
Crazy. Yeah. Faking sanity.
Yeah.
Every day.
It's us.
So culture consumed.
Yeah. Have you
So I mentioned I was pretty monogamous on this because I really wanted to finish it for this week's podcast.
Yeah.
And the rows were getting bigger and bigger and bigger, so it was taking longer and longer. So I didn't do really any reading. I stayed up until it was the last minute and I had to go to bed, so I was watching shows mostly. But I did find some new ones. On Crave. I was like thinking of the new service. We got Crave. We've had TV. Netflix, but we got Crave TV. Mm-hmm. And so I started with rewatching the first season of Big Bang. I hadn't watched it in ages, and they're light and fluffy and I've seen them before, so I can knit and look down at a lace chart or instructions or whatever. So it was a lot of fun to just listen to that.
Well, Crave, I got it. I can't even remember. I was like, I am going to sign up for the free month trial kind of thing for something, and then got distracted by Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, you've watched
whatever it's called. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know. Shields. No, just one shield. Because lately I decided I need to watch all the superhero stuff.
Yeah, that's not usually
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is really good. So last night I finished the first season. I watched the finale and bawled. But that's not surprising because when it comes to TV,
everything.
Yeah, real life stuff not so much. TV, books, commercials, medal ceremonies at Olympics. I cry.
Yeah.
I'm a bawling baby. It was really, really good. So yeah, I'm now only 4 seasons behind everyone else in the world.
Whoop, whoop.
But yeah, season 1 was really good. I'm hoping it stays good because a couple people have said, oh yeah, it kind of got monotonous, and I stopped watching it. I'm like, okay.
Aww.
But yes, I love all of the characters. Well, no, that's not true. I love Fitz and Simmons because they're my people. They're the nerdy scientists.
I haven't watched it yet. She tells me I have to, so I
think
will.
You really would like it. And I love Phil Coulson because he's Phil Coulson, and he's played by Clark Gregg, who I've always liked. And I adore Melinda May because she's a kick-ass woman, and she's just amazing. And yeah, the others are whatever.
It started with, I love all the characters.
I love those 4. Okay, so then there's Sky, and she's fine. And Sky, very much in the first season, is the normal person that you're kind of learning about S.H.I.E.L.D. through. There's always one of those, Rose for Doctor Who. And those characters tend not to be my favorites.
Yeah.
Main characters tend not to be my favorites. Could never stand Buffy. Loved everyone around Buffy. No. Yeah, and then there's Ward, who he's just Ward. Yeah. But yeah. So now I'm getting into season 2. So
I've been rewatching. Actually, I did start a new TV series. Netflix put up a new one called Helix.
No, the one she was like, you don't want to watch it. I'm like, yeah, I know that.
You'll hate it. Don't look at it. It's a very pseudoscience-y one with a lot bit of conspiracy.
Oh God!
But not there's a secret society hiding all the worlds.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has conspiracy, but not
but conspiracy in a fun way until you get further in.
Oh, okay.
Then there is a not secret society, but secret.
Oh, goody.
Yeah. But it's
Hydra. Sorry, you need to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. so
It's done differently than most conspiracies, so it works. It's fun. It reads a lot it watches a lot like the books I read, James Rollins and Andy McDermott and that sort of thing. It's there's some breaking cutting edge science and they're trying to prevent an outbreak that has started. There's a virus going around at this base in Antarctica, and they call in the CDC because virus and outbreak and there's a base in Antarctica, and the CDC is called in to contain the virus and try and figure out what it is and how to heal the people who have been infected. And each episode is 1 day in the quarantine since I've been there. So I've watched, I think, 9 or 10 episodes now, and it's a lot of fun. you would hate it.
I would
love
totally hate it.
I'm not going to give away more for people who might be interested in it, but it's a lot of fun. And it reads like, James Rollins, Andy McDermott, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So.
That's not the kind of books I read. I read things like the one I just finished yesterday. It's called Born to Rule by Julia P. Gilardi. And it's about 5 of Queen Victoria's granddaughters who all became ruling queens of different countries. So, oh my goodness, can I remember them all?
Alexandria?
Alexandra.
Alexia.
Well, Alex was her name, but it changed to Alexandra when she became Tsarina of Russia. Sophie of Greece, Marie of Romania, Maud of Norway, and, well, Ina of Spain. Victoria Eugenie, but Ina, it was what everybody called her. Anyway, it was really interesting because these women very much went through the most, like, upheaval for royal families because they were basically on the thrones from, like, kind of or at least, married to heirs. By like the 1880s through the 1930s kind of thing. And in that time period, like the Russian Tsar was overthrown, so were the Greek monarchs, the Spanish monarch, like
tumultuous times for
very
royalty.
Yeah, so and going through World War I, and then really, really interesting because I learned a lot of stuff about that time period that I didn't. I know quite a bit about history, but I learned
More
a lot.
Than most,
well,
but.
And I learned a lot, like the personal stuff, and it's amazing how I've mentioned this before, how everyone's related to everybody else when it comes to royal families. But so these 5 granddaughters, and they were all cousins to each other on all the different thrones, and just fascinating times they went through. So I finished that one last night.
Cool. It did sound fascinating.
Yeah, it was really good. I really should have just like made myself a family tree first, though,
so you
with
could
all their
along.
names. Well, because they have names that they were given, and then the names that people actually called them, and then they're like, okay, and she was talking to her cousin so and so, and I'm like, oh, who was she again? Where does she come in? Yeah, so I should have made myself a little family tree, or looked one up online, but it made sense after a while. And as soon as I kind of went, okay, so Alex and Alexi, or Aleki and Alexandra, and they're all the same person. So, did you read anything?
No,
didn't
because
read anything
I
'cause
was
you were-
knitting.
she was knitting
Every moment I could. I watched a lot of podcasts again this week. I'm about halfway through all the Skeindeer knits now, and I've kept up on all the ones that I had started, like the Stranded and the Feather Stitches
Yes.
podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got it this time.
So I've been watching Brain Scoop and Skeindeer knits mostly this week, so they were the ones that Brain Scoop was the one I was the most farthest behind on. Most farthest, yeah, totally. English isn't my first language. You have to accept this.
She always uses it as an excuse.
True.
I know it's true, but you speak perfect English in general. I mean,
You mock me daily about my English.
well, but I mock me daily about my English too.
There are certain expressions that I always just say the French, like for the life
Shut
of me,
the lights.
if I'm thinking about telling her to turn off a light, I can't remember if the right way in English is turn off the light or shut the light. So about 50-50, it comes out shut the light. So she's like,
no, I laugh because I'm used to it. So I also, I was listening to an audiobook, which I consider reading.
Somebody has asked.
It is definitely reading. I know that sounds weird, but it definitely is. It takes different skills than reading a book, but it takes listening skills, and it's definitely reading. But anyway, so I was listening to one called Mastering the Art of Soviet Cooking by Anya von Bremzen. I've probably butchered her name. I'm sure she's used to it. Which is really interesting. Her and her mother left the Soviet Union in 1974 to go to the States. But a lot of their family history and her memories and everything have to do with food. So what she's doing is she's telling the history of the Soviet Union by decade through the food that was big, but through the history of her family as well.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
It's really cool. It's like a memoir, but with a history and cooking. So, like, for the first decade...
I like eclectic.
Yeah, I like strange books.
Yeah.
So for the first decade, they actually started with the first decade of the century. So what food was like before the revolution. So they made this big meal for a bunch of their friends that was all like the fancy stuff that like the court ate. Mm-hmm. It all sounded terrible to me. I'm sorry. Like, but caviar?
Yeah, you like
sounds disgusting. But anyway, and it's amazing. And then so each decade she tells it's history of the Soviet Union, but from a very personal point of view.
Yeah.
And from like her family's point of view. So you learn a lot about her family and stuff. And it's fabulous. I'm up into the 80s now, so they're in the US now, her and her mom, but it's all about like, well, going into a supermarket in the US for the first time. Yeah, just this, so it's lots about Soviet food and also just like how they got the food and the like the years of famine and yeah, and yet how once she got to the States she missed the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Well, missed certain things about it. Whereas her mom was like, yes, it's behind me. So, but yeah, really, really interesting book. And good audiobook. I don't know who's reading it. I'm bad.
Do you have it on there?
I'm trying.
Are you listening to it on Audible?
No, on actually through my library.
Oh.
You can get a lot of audiobooks and ebooks through your library usually.
On Overdrive?
Yeah. Read by, it's tiny, Kathleen Gatti?
I can only read the word Soviet on the title screen.
Yeah, it is really tiny. Yeah.
That was really tiny.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gotten it.
I hate when they don't say. Maybe. Oh, no, because I turned off the internet.
Turning off notifications and internet so we don't get phone calls in the middle of the podcast, as we have done in the past.
Yeah. You have. Oh, no, that's not true.
You did last time. So there.
But yeah. Very, very good audiobook. And yes, I totally consider audiobooks reading. And I count them in my...
that Overdrive does audiobooks.
Yeah.
And Overdrive, it's the same system in the US and Canada. I don't know if it's anywhere else, but I know in the US they have Overdrive too.
And lots of libraries have audiobooks and ebooks that you can get on your phone or tablet or
it's like
computer
interlibrary loans, but digital.
Yeah. They're fabulous. I love libraries.
Yeah.
I'm a library nerd.
I used to laugh at the bus, on the sides of city buses in Calgary. They had like the ads on the sides of the buses, and for the longest time the Calgary Public Library had a campaign trying to get people to use the library more because membership was down and usership was down, and so their slogan was Calgary Public Library, cheap and easy. And I was like, that's only if you return your books on time.
Yeah, I used to be really bad. I'm better now. Well, yeah.
You're better.
Plus the librarians love me, so
you take out less books at a time.
Yes, I used to take out
because you
stacks.
have less time to read, and so you remember which ones and don't misplace them.
I have a few books around.
Yeah.
We only have 25,000 books.
No, we got, I'm sure, over 1,000 last night.
We got a huge batch yesterday, which is awesome, but lots of books to enter.
Lots of books to clean and enter in our future. Yeah. So I think that's it for me.
Oh, look, and we'll be just under an hour.
Oh, we got to keep it under an hour.
Okay.
Bye.
No.
Bye.
Have a lovely week.
Yes. Enjoy your knitting. And
knit long and prosper.
Oh.
Sorry, I've been catching up on Bakery Bears, and that was one of their dance things. Knit long and prosper. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Somebody at Knit Night, this came up the other day, and somebody at Knit Night was like, how do you do that?
You do this, and then you do Mork and Mindy. And then you do this. this, and then you do Mork and Mindy. Oh, I'm showing off my birthmark. I'm going to get questions.
Yeah, everybody's going to ask about your burn.
Yeah, it's not a burn, promise.
Yeah. But yeah, join us next time, and join our Ravelry group and take part in the knit along. We'd love to have you if you're not there already. And anybody who submits yardage is in for the next draw whenever we do it.
And knit something that makes you happy.
Yeah, knit happy.
Knit happy.
Yeah.
Knit long.
Or let us know. We talked about a couple of our plans. Let us know in the comments or in the Ravelry group some of your plans that you're kind of dream knitting. Or
if you know of any really complex lace or cables that's not like a sweater. Or a circular shawl or a triangle shawl. Like a normal triangle shawl.
A traditional deep, narrow triangle.
Asymmetrical triangles are great.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if you have any pattern suggestions. Because, I mean, this is making me really happy, but it's still stockinette.
Yeah.
I need some challenge.
Colorwork mitts.
Oh, we went over the hour, sorry.
We'll just chop off everything after.
Okay. So I don't burp.
Do some, oh, you should do some thrummed mitts.
Yeah, except I couldn't wear thrummed mitts.
So give them away.
I could. I love the idea of thrummed mitts, but I think if I stuck my hands into them, I would come out with all of the fuzz.
Or make some basic ones and sell them, like not pattern based.
But thrummed mitts are still a whole bunch of stockinette knitting.
But you're like every third stitch or so, you're pulling through a thrum.
I don't know.
I'm thinking of some thrummed mittens. So.
I'm thinking of making funny faces. Sorry.
I think on that note, we'll let you go, because now your mom is rolling her eyes at you. Sorry, Terry. I try to control her. It just doesn't work.
No, she doesn't. She urges me on.
Have a great week, guys.
Bye.